Scopo. My mom, 59F, stormed off during my work event after a small argument, turned off her location, and left me, 35F, and my kids stranded without a car or car seats for nearly an hour. When she came back, she got defensive and refused to acknowledge that what she did was wrong. I lost my temper and said some hurtful things. Now she's refusing to talk to me, and I don't know how to repair the relationship or rebuild trust. Okay, so I'm going to do my best to share this objectively, but I am upset. So IDK if that's possible. I, 35F, recently bought a house with a granny flat to move my parents, 59 and 61, in when they retired. It's been about 6 months since they moved in full-time, and there have been growing pains. But mostly it's been going well. I have a job in childhood literacy, and I do public story times every other Saturday. Typically what happens is my dad, 61 Mim, will come help me set up, and then go pick up my mom, 59F, and my children, 6 if I'm referring her to, and bring them for story time. My children are neurodivergent and get easily overstimulated, so they typically stay about 30 minutes, and then my parents take the children elsewhere while I finish up the day's activities. And my dad comes back to help me pack up and bring me home. My mom helps me take photos during the events so I can advertise the free activities on social media. Today's story time was kind of important to me because there was collaboration potential with the author, but I did not communicate this since we weren't doing anything different than we typically do, and I didn't want to make a big deal out of it. But I did ask my dad to get here a little bit early so we could have time to get the kids a little more settled before I started the activities. Now, my mom is a late person. She's late for everything. We tease her about it because no matter how much time she has to get ready, she will wait until the last minute. We also share location because it's easier than having to check in all the time. So apparently my mom was running late, and her and my dad got into some sort of argument about it, the details of which are unknown to me. When it was about 10 minutes before I was supposed to start, I checked at their location and they were nearby, but not on a street that we typically take to get to the event. And it looked like they were parked on a random side street for a while. They finally arrived with a few minutes to spare, and as I was helping them out, one of my children said, "We're late," to which I responded, "You're always late," in what I thought was a joking way. Big mistake on my part. My mom looked irritated, and I tried to check in with her several times, but she got in the driver's seat and said very aggressively, "I need a minute and he can fuck off." And then she drove away. I was hoping she would just park and come back, but when it was clear she wasn't planning to come to story time, I just went ahead and did the activity. When she still wasn't there about 40 minutes later, I was worried and checked her location. I saw she had turned her location off, so I called, and she didn't answer. I called my sister to see if she could check on her, but she didn't answer. I waited another 10 minutes or so, then sent her a text that said, "Hey, I know you're mad, I get it, but I'm going to need you to come back and pick up the kids. It's been nearly an hour and they're getting squirrely. Or at least let me know if you're not coming back so I can have partner or close our brick and mortar bookstore and come pick them up." After about 5 more minutes, I called my husband and explained the situation so he could come get everyone, since we didn't have a vehicle or car seats for the kids. As I'm on the phone with him, I see her drive by. I walked over to her and she was cool as a cucumber. I asked if she was okay and got the kids, who were starting to melt down at this point, in the car while my dad watched my booth. I then said something like, "Hey, I'm pretty upset. I know you're mad, and I'm sorry, but this wasn't okay. We were worried and not sure how to get the kids home." She then went off on me, asking why she can't have a little time, even when she asked for it. Refused to admit she had been gone as long as she had, even when I showed her the time. I said, "Hey, it's fine, but it's not cool to do that at my work, and that we were stranded without a car, and it was inappropriate to leave with the car and the car seats and then not answer." I told her it would be fine if we had just known, and I couldn't even check her location because she had turned it off. She said that she didn't feel like being tracked all the time, and that she wasn't gone long enough for me to be upset. I was like, "Okay, but we had no clue when you were coming back," and explained that I had asked my husband to come pick everyone up. She laughed at me, said that I was the one reacting inappropriately, and that she can take as much time as she needs. She also didn't seem to believe me that I didn't have a car there. I started to walk away, but at this point I was pretty upset, so I doubled back and said that I wasn't going to let her gaslight me and make it seem like I was the one acting poorly. I'm not proud of this, but I told her that leaving her grandkids with no complication and no transportation was a psycho move and that she needs therapy if she thinks that's appropriate. Not proud of that one, but I've been trying to get her to see someone for years. She said that she could say the same about me, way ahead of you, Mom, and already in it, and laughed at me again and said that I'm ridiculous, and sarcastically said that she's so sorry she traumatized me. I was like, "Listen, you have to be able to admit that this wasn't okay, and it's not fair to turn it around on me." And she can never admit when she's wrong. She was then like, "I absolutely can't admit when I'm wrong." Then I was like, "If you could, you would just say, 'Yeah, sorry, I should have let you know that wasn't cool of me.'" Which she then said sarcastically back to me. And I said, "Cool, awesome," and walked away to tell my dad to head home with her, only to see her drive away with my kids in the car, stranding my dad once again. I called him and Uber, and apparently when he got home, she was shocked that he took an Uber and asked why we didn't have a car there, even though I had just told her. My dad came back to get me and helped me pack up. When I got home, she was outside with the kids, and I came out and sat down, and she just left and went inside. My dad encouraged me to make up with her, so after about 10 minutes, I went in, and she was in her bed. I asked her if she wanted to talk, and she said no, so I left. I guess I'm trying to figure out, understand how at fault I am here, if I am overreacting, and also how to repair this relationship. This is definitely the worst fight we've had in a very long time, and I'm genuinely freaking out. Please, please help.